Did y'all get them?
This is an Asus ROG Ally, and conceptually at least, it's a really cool product. What you have here is basically a handheld gaming PC. It's significantly more powerful than a Steam Deck, Nintendo Switch, or really any other handheld on the market. As long as you manage your expectations around settings and frame rates, you can basically enjoy any game on the go, but just not for very long. You see, this is my ROG Ally, and I've had it for a little while now, and what I've learned is that it's definitely got some big weak points, and if I'm being brutally honest, it's failed to live up to my expectations. But fear not, because with a little bit of ingenuity and a little bit of elbow grease, I think we can fix all of those. That's right, today we are going to void my warranty, wish me luck, and we are going to build the ROG Ally Pro. Packed inside this little handheld powerhouse is an 8-core Ryzen APU with an integrated Radeon 780M GPU. It also has 16 gigabytes of DDR5 memory, and in my opinion, its weakest spec, 512 gigabytes of internal NVMe storage. So the first mod I did here was just replacing that with a 1 terabyte drive from Sabrin. And you can see that this is a special compact 30mm drive. I actually missed an opportunity to install a larger full-size drive here, but we'll talk more about that later. First, I wanted to solve an issue that has plagued the Ally since its launch. It cooks SD cards.
No one seems to know this, but Amazon actually has a $50 million fund that they have to pay out every.
Underneath this main heatsink is a micro SD card slot, and as you may have guessed, based on its location, it gets really hot. So in order to fix that, I borrowed a product from the automotive world. This is fiberglass and aluminum heat shielding, and it comes in simple self-adhesive sheets. A few layers of it should keep your memory card safe from the heat above. I'm actually kind of surprised Asus doesn't do this from the factory. Once I knew that my SD card wouldn't self-immolate, I felt much more comfortable about adding another 512 gigabytes of storage. Next, I want to tackle a different type of capacity. This is the battery pack that comes with the ROG Ally. It doesn't say anywhere on it, but I'm pretty sure it's about 45 watt hours, and that equates to about an hour to an hour and a half of battery life, which for me is just not quite enough. So if you look over here in this cardboard box, I actually have a replacement battery for one of Asus's gaming laptop. Same voltage, but about twice the capacity of the one that comes in the Ally. And the nice thing is the battery connector just plugs right into it, and the battery management software should play nicely together. In its current configuration, there was no way that this battery was going to fit inside the Ally. This left me with only one choice. I had to fold it. You see, the battery is made up of 4 separate cells arranged around a battery management PCB. So the first thing I did was cover that PCB in electrical tape to avoid any accidental shorts, and then I carefully folded the cells into a single stack. Big thanks to allymods.com, by the way. I read their article about this mod and it kicked off the inspiration for this whole project. Now, obviously the battery pack is pretty exposed like this, but don't worry because we're going to reinforce it later in the video. First though, while we're in the kitchen, I think this is a great opportunity to tell you about the sponsor of today's video, AG1. I am the butt of the joke in my close circle of friends because of my poor diet. I've been known to partake in fast food on a pretty regular basis, but I've been making a concerted effort to clean up my diet lately, and a big part of that is AG1. It's a foundational nutrition supplement that supports whole body health. Every morning, I wake up, mix some AG1 into a little bit of ice cold water, and then use it to start my day. Each scoop contains 75 vitamins, minerals, and whole food sourced ingredients, which is nice because now I know that I'm getting the full spectrum of vitamins and minerals that support my immune system. Stuff that I was probably missing in the past or would have had to have sourced from multiple other supplements. I've been taking AG1 for the past couple of weeks now, and I've noticed a pretty dramatic increase in my energy levels and concentration levels, which is great when you're trying to finish a YouTube video on a tight deadline. And it's also packed with prebiotics, probiotics, and plant-based enzymes that help to support gut health. but that might be a little bit too intimate to talk about in a YouTube video. So if AG1 sounds like something that you might be interested in, head over to drinkag1.com/builds or click the link down in the video description. You'll get a free 1-year supply of AG1 vitamin D3 and K2 plus 5 AG1 travel packs with your first purchase of AG1. All right, now let's get back to building the ROG Ally Pro. So, but I figured since we already have it disassembled, this might be a good time to do another little side project. I want to upgrade the cooling of the Ally so that we can crank the performance. So, but I figured might be a little bit too intimate to talk about in a YouTube video. So if AG1 sounds like something that you might be interested in, head over to drinkag1.com/builds or click the link down in the video description. You'll get a free 1-year supply of AG1 vitamin D3 and K2 plus 5 AG1 travel packs with your first purchase of AG1. All right, now let's get back to building the ROG Ally Pro. So, but I figured since we already have it disassembled, this might be a good time to do another little side project. I want to upgrade the cooling of the Ally so that we can crank the performance up to 10. And also, upgrading the cooling is going to affect how we cut the back of the device, so it just makes sense to do that first. From the factory, the Ally's heatsink comes painted black, which admittedly makes it look pretty cool, but it's going to get in the way of what we're about to do. So the first thing I did was just use a buffing wheel to remove that paint. Then I wanted to add some more heat pipes. These copper tubes are filled with a liquid that very effectively transports heat from high temperature zones to low temperature zones. You can see the original heatsink is actually just a single long flat heat pipe, but I wanted to utilize the third dimension. So I marked out a couple of rough indexing lines on the tubes and then took them over to my bench vise where I was going to attempt to bend them. In order to make the copper a little softer and easier to bend, I heated it up. But I had to be very careful because if you boil the liquid inside of the heat pipe, they'll pop and send shrapnel flying right into your eyes. And also, you have to be careful that you don't kink the tubes when you're bending them because, well, then they won't work anymore. Thankfully, I rode the line and managed to get the job done, but it wouldn't be the last time that I risked popping these heat pipes. So now that we have our 2 heat pipes bent, they're going to wick heat away from the CPU and take it somewhere. And that somewhere is going to be this copper M.2 heatsink like I used in my gaming phone video. It's gonna go a little something like that and radiate out the backside of the Ally. But there is a problem. So in my gaming phone video, I just brazed a bunch of copper together, but that won't really work here because these heat pipes, like I said before, will pop if they get too hot. That being said, I think I've come up with a solution. In this little bag right here, I have some...
Have you heard of turtle traders? They were a group of 14...
treats and or like grab phones and think you're funny, huh? Dog treats and or like grab I die without it, huh? Good girl. You think you're funny, huh? You think you're funny, huh? You think I die
She's
without
laughing
it, huh?
at me.
Good girl. We need your treats. We need your treats. Think you're funny, huh? Gotta have electricity.
Gracie's laughing at me.
We need your treats. We need your treats. Gotta have your treats. I gotta have electricity.
I shit on the bed, shit on the floor, shit so much I grew a fucking afro. I shit on the bed, shit on the floor, shit so much I grew a fucking afro.